She stepped into the ancient ruins as dawn light spilled across broken stone and sleeping vines. The girl was young, yet her eyes held courage shaped by loss and long journeys. Every step echoed with memories of a world that feared legends and forgot kindness. The ruins breathed with old magic, whispering stories that only the brave could hear. She carried no sword, only a worn satchel and a heart that refused to turn back. They said a gray dragon slept beneath these stones, waiting for fools and heroes alike. They said the dragon was older than kingdoms and colder than forgotten stars. They said no human child would ever leave this place alive. She listened to their warnings, and still she walked forward. Dust swirled as she crossed a fallen archway marked with faded runes. Her fingers traced the symbol, feeling warmth where stone should be cold. The ground trembled gently like a giant breathing beneath her feet. She paused not in fear but in respect. A low rumble rolled through the ruins like distant thunder without a storm. The sound carried sorrow and age and a loneliness deeper than the caverns below. She whispered a greeting into the dark, not knowing if it would be answered. Her voice was small, yet it carried truth. From the shadows emerged an eye the color of old ash and storm clouds. It opened slowly, watching her with ancient caution. The dragon did not roar or strike. It simply watched. Scales the color of weathered silver caught the light as the great head moved forward. Cracks and scars told stories of battles long ended and wounds never healed. Smoke curled from nostrils that had not breathed fire in many years. The dragon waited. The girl stood her ground, though her legs trembled. She bowed her head not in submission but in greeting. "I came to learn," she said softly. "I came to listen." The dragon felt something stir within its ancient chest. Not anger, not hunger, but recognition. It had heard such words once long ago, from a voice now lost to time. The ruins remembered that moment, and the air grew still. Wind held its breath, and dust settled. The world waited with them. The dragon lowered its massive head until one great eye met her gaze. In that eye she saw centuries of war and regret. She saw a guardian who had failed and never forgiven itself. Tears filled her eyes. "You are lonely," she said without fear. The dragon felt the truth strike deeper than any blade. It closed its eye and let out a breath that shook the ground. Memories flooded back of those sworn to protect these ruins. Of civilizations that rose and fell like waves. Of humans who once stood beside the dragon as friends, then vanished into legend. The girl sat on a fallen stone, never breaking eye contact. She spoke of her village lost to fire and silence. She spoke of walking alone, guided only by stories. She spoke of believing that legends still had hearts. The dragon listened, and in listening it remembered how, long ago, it too had been young. It too had believed in bonds stronger than fear. A low sound escaped its throat, not a growl but a sigh. Days passed within the ruins, measured by light and shadow. The girl returned each morning, bringing food and stories. The dragon shared silence and watchful presence. Trust grew slowly like roots through stone. She cleaned old wounds with water from a hidden spring. Her hands were gentle and steady. The dragon did not pull away. It allowed care it thought it no longer deserved. At night the ruins glowed faintly as ancient magic stirred. The girl slept near the dragon, wrapped in warmth from its great body. For the first time in centuries, a dragon did not dream of war. It dreamed of skies without smoke. Wordless understanding formed between them. The girl learned the dragon language of movement and breath. The dragon learned the strength of small hands and brave hearts. They became something new together. One evening the ground shook with approaching footsteps. Men entered the ruins carrying steel and fear. They sought glory and blood and legend slain. The dragon rose ready to burn the world. The girl stood before the dragon and raised her hand. "No," she said firmly. "This ends differently." She stepped forward and faced the intruders. Her voice carried through the ruins clear and unbroken. "This guardian is not your enemy. Leave now." Laughter met her words, followed by drawn blades. The dragon felt rage build like fire in its chest. Then it felt her hand rest against its scale. Slowly the dragon lowered its head beside her. Its wings spread wide, casting shadows like mountains. The ruins responded with a deep hum of ancient power. Fear replaced laughter as the men saw the bond before them. They saw not a beast and a child, but guardians standing together. They fled, leaving weapons behind. The ruins fell silent once more. The dragon exhaled smoke that faded into nothing. The girl smiled, and the dragon felt something it had forgotten: hope. Seasons passed, and the ruins changed. Vines bloomed, flowers returned, and stone warmed. Travelers came seeking wisdom, not conquest. They found peace instead. The girl grew stronger, wiser. The dragon grew lighter, shedding the weight of ages. Together they watched the sky and guarded the past. Legend spread not of fear but of friendship, of a brave young girl and a gray dragon, of ancient ruins alive again, of bonds that changed the world. And in the quiet moments when dawn touched stone and scale, the dragon would lower its head, and the girl would rest her hand upon it. both knowing they were no longer alone.